Hello guys, and welcome back here in the shop of Bevo-Militaria. First of all, I want to wish you all a happy new year, and may there be many new treasures for your collection in the next coming year. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about SS visor caps and the insignias, to guide you through a little bit of the things you might need to know and what to pay attention for. A few of these items here will be on the website for sale with the new update of the new year as well. A few of them, so that means not all of them are for sale, of course. So to start with, I'll start with the visors we have here. So I have a few different types here. Of course, you might know or might not know. So the black visors are Allgemeine-SS. So that was the SS that was not part of the front action, and of course the ones in green are the Waffen-SS visors. So SS visors for people who were at the front, simply said, of course. These SS visors, Allgemeine-SS visor, is always, of course, made in black wool. Of course, different types of material are possible, and for me personally, it's one of the most iconic pieces of the Second World War because of the looks, the skull, and of course the black color as well. So these will always have white piping. There's no other piping exists for these branches, so it's always white wool piping. And on the inside, you will frequently see the SS runes as well. This is not an RZM example, but I will show you on the screen now an RZM example that we sold in the past. And coming back to this one here, this is a tailor-made example. It still has the SS logo inside and also has the initials of the owner. So this one does not have an RZM tag under the sweatband. The other one has, and an RZM one would also have a small SS logo on the visor brim. So the insignias then on the front of the cap is a nice koepel set. So what does koepel mean? Koepel means copper, aluminium, a mix of copper and aluminium. That's why you will see the bronze looking color of the copper, and it has the weight of aluminum. So it's a material made for insignias actually. These koepel insignias are very early. They're well made and they show very sharp details. So they would have been totally coated in silver, but of course with some wear and time, you will see the underlayer coming through, which shows of course nice colors. This is a typical Daschler skull. You can see it design wise. I will show it a bit later. And we have an Osman eagle, Osman made eagle on the top. The cap is a enlisted example, so it has the leather strap with the little thing in the front here, the buckle in the front, and also an enlisted visor has a wool band, while an officer one, just move on here to an officer one. An officer one has a velvet band, so very soft, different material, velvet band, and of course an officer one has the officer chin strap as well. Also beautiful example here with the nice insignias. I would believe, based on the front, that this will also be a Daschler skull. The eagle is a bit harder to see because of course we can't see the back and we can't see the markings, but the patina matches, of course, which is nice in this visor. And it's also just an offerer's example, as I said, exquisite condition. It is for sale on the website already. And this one has the black inside, so no SS runes. It is named as well, and it has a typical, if you can see here, 57 size mark in the typical SS font we like to see. So this is an SS RZM visor. This one has the small logo here, RZM, and if you look under the sweatband, but I have to be very careful not tearing up the sweatband because it's very delicate. Let me see. So there we have the RZM tag underneath the sweatband. So also for visors as well, how can you recognize their period? One of the little things I can tell you is that the sweat shield is always made of celluloid. Celluloid is a kind of like plastic, but of course it's not, because plastic was only invented many years later. And celluloid has, of course, the thing that when it's old and you touch it, it starts to break, while plastic, of course, never really breaks. So it's a typical thing you can recognize if you touch it and it breaks, but of course I hope it will not break when you touch it. It's a celluloid, and it's a good chance of being an original visor. One of the things, of course, to look after. So this is the officer of this one, and then here's a special one. This is for my own collection. It is not for sale. It will never be for sale. It is a very unique SS-Vlaanderen, so that's why I've put the cuff title here as well. It's an Allgemeine-SS and Waffen-SS visor head. These were worn by the Flemish collaborators, so here where I live. And they had, of course, the special swastika on top instead of the eagle. So very interesting is the skull and the swastika are actually Flemish made ones, and I have one here as well. It is the same design, in my opinion, as Daschler, so as this one here, but sorry, not Daschler. Wait, I forgot. As is the stress of the video. Let me just refresh my memory. This is, of course, the good book to refresh the memory. It's not Daschler, but there we go. It's Overhof, excuse me. So this is in my opinion, a period-made copy of the Overhof skull that they used here in Belgium to produce them. You will see immediately on the back, the pins are not in the same quality as German pins would be. And you will also notice that the teeth, they never end, while here they have a perfectly nice edge on the rim of the teeth. But this is a typical Belgian-made skull, and of course you will find this Belgian-made skull on Belgian-made hats. So this hat as well is typical Belgian manufacturing. It is not the same quality as a German visor would have. If you turn it around, this one has RZ on the reverse of the sweatband, and you will feel the quality, and the wool is just not the same as a German made one. But of course this one is 10,000 times rarer. The nice thing about this visor is it was published in this book many years ago. Here it is. So this is the exact same visor cap, and here we see it worn during the war by a member of SS-Vlaanderen. So this is the cuff title I just showed you, SS on the sleeve, and then we have the cap here. Here's one as well. So yeah, this is the same visor here. It's now in my collection for a long time already. I was lucky enough to find it, I think about 7 years ago at the Mac show, where it just popped up on a table, and it was one of the best days of my life, of course. It's still one of the best pieces of my collection because, of course, it's such a rare Belgian produced visor cap for SS volunteers. So moving on to Waffen-SS visors. So it's actually the same principle. I don't have the NCO visor, but I will show it on the screen now. So this is a NCO Waffen-SS visor. It also has a wool band, and you will notice on this visor it has an army chin strap, which is not very unusual, but they also made it with the army chin strap and not a typical SS chin strap I just showed in on the Allgemeine-SS visor. So coming back here, this is a typical SS Waffen-SS officer visor, a very desirable piece and wanted by many collectors. It's a beautiful piece, and it has zinc made insignia. So zinc would be a material produced used for during the war because it was much cheaper, and all the precious materials, just as aluminum and copper, etc., were used for making ammunition and airplanes. So they used zinc insignia later. The zinc, you can see, it turns out gray with time, so the silver finish goes away and then it turns gray. It's a beautiful SS visor, nicely maker marked. Quite not a very famous maker, but I've seen many visors of this maker in army. This is the first SS I've seen. It's nicely named as well, and you see it's not been heavily worn, and it also has, like I said before, it has also the velvet, soft velvet band, typical for an officer visor. It's also made in very fine tricot wool, which is something you often see on these SS headgear pieces. Certainly for officer, it's a very fine and expensive wool made for these visors. So also an example of my personal collection, which means it's not for sale. Then this one you might recognize. This one is already on the website. This is an SS general officer visor. So the main difference between the general visor and the officer visor is, of course, the officers always have white piping. Only you will find colored piping in enlisted ranks Waffen-SS visor. So in the enlisted ranks you will have the same type of colors as army caps would have, but then an officer they actually only have white. Of course, I can already hear people yelling, "Oh, it's not true, I've seen something," but yeah, sometimes officers would have also had piping. It would be their personal choice, but the general rule is that SS visors, officer visors, have white piping, and then general visor has silver piping. So again, a nice original SS visor. It has also the velvet band, silver general piping, and a nice set of zinc made insignia. In this case, the silver finish is still much more intact on these two insignias here. So if you turn it around, you'll see the inside. The sweat shield is gone because again it's made of celluloid. Very you can damage it very easily. That's why in many visors you will see the sweat shield is gone. And this example is made by Clemens Wagner, so CW Clemens Wagner, a very famous visor head producer. And you will see this visor is just in exquisite condition, hasn't been messed around with. It's just very fine and very rare original Waffen-SS general visor. It's for sale on the website for 19,500 euro. I know it's a lot of money, but it's one of a kind item, of course. So then here on the table, we'll see. I've talked about this. This is with the visor head. Then we'll see some different type of skulls. So just this is the Bible you need to have. It's a good friend of me, Andrew, who wrote this book, and it shows you all the variations of all the skulls, eagles you will need to know. So it's a very thin book. I always carry it in my luggage when I go to shows. When you find a skull, you can just open the book and find every variant made. There are also copies inside to show you the differences. So it's a very good book to have. A must have if you want to collect these kind of items. So just showing some small differences. So this is the first pattern skull, the M23 skull. This one was actually worn on the cappies. So we sold the cappy on the website. I will show it here now. So you will see my cappy already has the second pattern skull, but because it's a late war RZM, late war, it's a later type RZM cappy, and if you see on the inside, you will always see the same inside as an Allgemeine-SS visor with the SS runes. Now this is a late produced cappy. An earlier one would have the same skull that I'm holding right here. So this is a skull made out of tombak. Tombak is also an early material used for cap insignia. It still has the prongs intact on the reverse as well. And then it comes with these small eagles. This is a eagle, I believe it's made out of zinc, so it's a little bit later. It's a typical political eagle. It could be worn for SS or SA troops on the cappies or the visor caps as well. And it's also maker marked with an RZM mark. And that's you will already know it's a later produced eagle. So moving on to the SS visor cap skulls. So I have a nice small variety of a few of them. Most of them will be for sale in the next update. So this again was the Overhof. It's marked here on the back M124 RZM on top, and this one also has the RZM markings on the pins as well. So it's triple marked. It's a beautiful example. It's a Kupal made one. So I explained before, Kupal is actually aluminum and copper together, and then it had a silver finish. In this case, the silver finish was worn away, and I have exactly the same skull here, exactly the same one, but this one is of course in much better condition. Still has the original finish on the back, but you will see they have the similar reverse here. The only difference is that this one does not have the markings on the pins. It only has the typical stripes on the pins that you would see, that you want to see with this typical manufacturer. So beautiful Kupal skulls. Then this is a tombak skull. This is a Daschler skull. Daschler skull is marked on the back here, above my finger. Very hard to read. You will see 52, but I will show it maybe in the book here. So here we go. So this is actually the same skull as mine. You will see the marking here, a bit bigger. Same skull as mine, same material, and I will remove my little note. So this is the variant number 4, as written by the author, of a Daschler skull. So made in tombak. Beautiful example, nicely worn. Also, you will see many insignias, the silver finish is partially gone, but it has nice patina and would look great on a visor. And the pins are also still intact, which is of course important. These pins are, of course, they could break easily if you try to put them on visors back and forth, and you will see it with this visor cap eagle. So this is an SS visor cap eagle made in zinc. Zinc, so wartime produced example, or just before the war maybe already they started to produce this. I think this one is dated 1939, yes, correct. And then it was painted in silver, and like I said, the pins, you will see on this particular example, the pins have been reinforced or repaired during or after the war. I do not know, because they intend to break off very easily, especially with these zinc made pieces. This one here is nicely marked on the back, 475 39, so 475 is the code for Wagner, Ferdinand Wagner, and it has the RZM mark right over here, and then 39 is the date, 1939. So yeah, it's a beautiful zinc visor cap skull, and of course this would be a perfect example to put on a cap, because the pins are of course repaired, but once on a cap you will not see it, and it's still an original visor cap eagle to restore a cap again, because you will find a lot of SS headgear, of course, stripped of their insignia because of many reasons. They took the insignia off, and yeah, this is a perfect example to restore it with. So all the information about the eagle I just told you is also in the book here. Sorry, this side. It's exactly the same one, as you can see here, and on the back as well. So this is how the pins would look, and the same markings go here and here as well. So I hoped you learned a little bit more about these SS visors and what to look after. If you have any questions about the insignias, I would recommend hardly to buy one of these books and read them through. There's a lot more information that I can explain to you in the book, so that's why they wrote the book, of course. And if you have any questions regarding the items here, feel free to contact me. As I always end my movies, I would like to thank you, of course, for watching the movie. I hope you enjoy the update we have on the website right now, and have a great new year. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more videos in this new year.